Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Eric Braeden, Jamie Smith Jackson, Richard Hatch, Barbara Stewart, Nancy Wickwire, special guest star Sharon Acker. Tonight's episode, Perchance to Kill.
Tony, help. My zipper's stuck. Well, you're not even ready.
I'm not going. With what I've learned about Steve and the firm, I'd be a hypocrite.
Okay, drop the other shoe. What's Steve been doing? Stealing stamps?
Stealing's more serious than that.
For heaven's sake. Steve Kingston?
I wish there were a kinder way of putting it, but there isn't. Steve Kingston is a thief. Yeah.
Thank you. What are you going to do about it?
I don't know yet. Not definitely.
I thought a man was supposed to be innocent until he was proven guilty. Until he is, I think you ought to go to the party. I'm certainly going.
I told you I'm not going. And I'll need the car.
Okay, I'll get a lift. And don't worry. I think you're wrong about Steve. Hey, where's our host?
Okay, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
So do you, sweetheart.
Hi, how are you, darling?
As always. See you when you get back.
Steve, how are you? Tonight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little wet out tonight.
I think you're right.
I'm going to powder my nose. Don't have too much fun without me.
It can't be done, you know that. Come on inside.
Oh, everybody's here.
Sure. Did you have a hard time getting here, something or what?
No, we were just slow starting. It was.
It's been too long.
Steve, wait, problems. It's Tony.
What about Tony?
I don't know. He's uptight about something.
What's bothering Tony is the fact that the firm is moving up as younger guys, and old Tony is no longer a younger guy, that's all.
Old Tony is going to block your partnership.
No way.
He says you've been stealing. Well, is there something called the Park Estate?
What did he say about the Park Estate?
He says you're a thief. Well, it isn't true, is it? Why would he say such a thing?
Well, of course it isn't true. You know better than that. But look, maybe I better phone him right now and see if, why don't you cover for me and play the hostess bit?
Hey, Steve. Is everything all right?
I think, of course it's all right. I'll just be a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice time tonight. Hey, man, can I ask you something?
Not right now. I'm busy, but hang in there.
wife didn't waste any time, did she?
Tony, I want to talk to you about something. That Parker estate is my client. Now, you had no right to take out that file.
Do you want to discuss the right and the wrong of this matter?
Listen, man, I thought you and I were friends.
Bull, we're not friends. We work for the same firm and we live in the same neighborhood, but we're not friends.
I want that file, Tony.
I should think you would. Especially with the margin notes that I made. You wouldn't shoot me.
Now hand it over to me.
You stupid fool. Spencer's gonna know anyway.
You told him?
Myself, I haven't even said hello to my host. Hey, that dress is terrific. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. See you later.
Okay, sweetheart.
Operator, give me the police, please. Harry, this is an emergency. For heaven's sake, give me the police. This is Tony Bloom, Lathrop Way. This is an emergency. A couple of hippies broke into my house, beat me up. They're spaced out. They're now searching for money. Oh my God! Oh no!
What happened to the ice cream soup?
I just spilled some ice cream on it.
How's everything going?
Fine. Everything is going to work just fine.
Hey, come here, come here. Officer, this is Mrs. Bloom.
What's the matter?
Mrs. Bloom, I'm sorry, but could you come with me?
What's happened?
You happen to know any 18-year-olds, Mr. Jones?
No. But I used to be one. Well, let's see if I got all this straight. Your daughter, Christy, left your home in Kansas about 4 months ago and took a ride out here to Los Angeles with a friend.
And then just dropped out of sight. I was heartsick.
Finally, one letter. She said she was getting her head straightened out, to quote her lovely English. Had gotten a couple of things out of her system.
And reading between the lines, she was reaching out to us. She was ready to come back home. So we planned this trip.
But she did keep the date with you on Monday. Where was the meeting, Mrs. Sanders?
At one of those organic food restaurants. You know the type I mean.
Oh, yes. Kind where you don't know what it's doing to their metabolism, but it's certainly making their hair grow.
Well, we talked the whole thing out. And she agreed that she would come back home with us. And we all agreed that we would try to bend over backwards with each other more than we had. But then she had to pack and say goodbye to some friends. But she said that she would see us at our hotel in Beverly Hills by 10 o'clock that night.
Naturally, she didn't give you her new address or her new phone number.
Of course not.
You happen to know the name of her young man?
Eric with a C, Garvin, Garvin.
You recall the name of the restaurant?
It was on Sunset Boulevard, just past Doheny. Well, I'll never forget that name. Granola Central Station.
Why should I know where this Eric Garvin hangs out?
They told me up in Topanga to try here, and then a couple of guys in Venice, and then Judy.
Which Judy is that?
Christie's friend, Judy.
I don't know this Garvin. And if there's any heat, I don't want to know him.
I am not the heat. I'm just trying to do the guy a favor. I got the documents right here that make him heir to $1,100. And believe me, I don't make enough out of it to horse around with the people who see a narc under every tie and white shirt. Now, you got my card with my phone number on it. Next time he comes in, tell him to call me.
Oh, no sweat, my friend. And nobody's agitated. But you can understand why we played a little cautious, right? You know what Dago Street is? You go up Laurel Canyon and hang a left at the store. Eric's got a crash pad made out of an old bus. You go over White Bridge, and you can't miss it.
Doesn't sound like it. Thanks.
Howdy. My name's Fletcher. You interested in this property?
No, I'm just looking for the people living here.
Living? In that? There's a couple of squatters hanging around. You can guess the type. I'm sorry, maybe they're friends of yours. A young fella and a girl. Name seems to escape me.
Eric Garvin and Christie are the people I'm looking for.
How do you spell those?
Well, Mr. Fletcher, if your name is Fletcher, I'm wondering why a real estate broker would be that interested in a couple of squatters, if you are a real estate broker.
I'm a police officer. Well, Mr. Jones, what's your interest in this?
I represent the girl's parents. She's a runaway.
Naturally.
I imagine that the department's interest is a little more serious than that.
Like murder? Officially, they're wanted for questioning on the Anthony Bloom homicide and robbery.
Eric can't move.
I hear you. He has to move, Christy. You're gonna have to split, man. Both of you. I can feel fuzz all over the neighborhood after what the radio said about him looking for a couple of street people.
You better take off, Christy. You've got someplace to go. Now do what I tell you.
Can you sit up and eat this, or shall I help you?
haven't got time for anything, Chris. Artemis is right.
Look, whatever you decide to do, I'm not leaving you. I'm going to stay with you.
Okay. We're both leaving. Grab your stuff. Artemis, can we use your bus?
Sure, yeah. I'll tell him you ripped me off.
Go down the back way and get it started. Hey, we can make it.
Hello, Miss Sanders. I can't make a judgment because I don't know the facts. But just because I'm not a cop doesn't mean there are not cops behind me.
Yeah, how close?
At the health food store, tracking back just the way I did.
Eric and I didn't do it. Don't you believe me? It's the truth. I mean, we couldn't kill anybody.
What difference does it make, huh? I mean, we were around there and we're long-haired hippies. And that's the label, man. I mean, we're guilty, right? Anything they want to pin on us.
All right, what really happened that night? Okay, you went to Eric's to say goodbye and pick up your things.
Yeah, to pick up my debutante's wardrobe. Eric and I had sort of an argument. He said that I was copping out if I went back.
Yeah, I'm like a stupid jerk. I started through this empty lot and I fell in the dark and my leg snapped. Thought it was ligaments or something. I didn't know it was broken. I could even put some kind of weight on it, you know what I mean?
So we went back up the road to try to hitch a ride. Do you think anybody would stop for us?
Then you did go by the Bloom house where the murder occurred.
The only place that we stopped was this place where there were lots of people in cars. They wouldn't even let us in to use the telephone.
Remember the address?
It was a big party. Valet parking, you know, the whole bit.
And then we went on down the canyon. His leg was hurt really bad, and we had to get to a hospital.
And this guy stopped and gave us a ride. Look, this joker isn't going to do any good for us. Let's get out of here, huh?
Eric, but I found out it's pretty tough trying to get your ideas across when you're running away from somebody yelling over your shoulder.
The only chance we've got is to run.
On one leg?
You got the keys, Chris?
Sure. Artie?
Hey, good luck, you guys, huh?
All the luck in the world is not going to help them too much.
What key do you want me to wind up now, Pops, huh? Law and order? Or the younger generation and the evils of pot, huh?
Glad you decided to come, darling. You know how sorry I am that you have to go through all this.
All this time since it happened, and the statements I've made to everybody, I can't help remembering you were in that bedroom so long.
Darling, I was in there because I kept on getting a busy signal. I had to get through to Tony as soon as he finished. I just kept on dialing. Gail, I never left that house. There wasn't time enough for that anyway.
I want to believe.
It is the truth. And if I tell you it is the truth, it is. Okay? The police know who did it. The reason that phone was busy is because Tony was calling them. There were a couple of freaked-out hippies in that place going through it. Before they killed him, he did get to the phone and gave them some sort of description.
Then you're definitely in the clear.
Of course I'm in the clear. Except for one thing. I need the park file. When will the police let you back into the house?
Is it still in the house, the file?
Where else could it be? Darling, I need that file. You're gonna have to get it for me. Okay? You're so beautiful.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm looking for Mr. Kingston.
I am Stephen Kingston.
My name is Jones, Mr. Kingston. I'm a detective. Your cleaning woman said I might find you out here.
Oh.
I'll see you later, Steve. You call me at Winnie's.
I cleared with Lieutenant Keogh for you to get back into the house, Gail.
Excuse me.
She's Gail Bloom.
That's right. I represent her now. Three of us were very close. It's incredible. Tragic. But I believe that I told Lieutenant Keogh everything already. You know, the shocking thing is that it could have happened to any one of us living up here, or down at the beach, or in Beverly Hills, or any place else. Nobody is safe. Please, Jones, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Okay? These people, no sense of morality anymore. No qualms about breaking in, or holding a knife to your throat, or knocking you over the head. And that's what's frightening.
These people?
They're the two hippies. Oh, would you like a drink?
No, thank you. How did you find out about the hippies?
It was on the news, you know, on television, too.
I didn't think the case against them was that strong, myself.
Why not?
Well, the one with the broken leg, he couldn't do much, could he?
Now, Lieutenant Keogh didn't tell me about that one. Huh. But from what I heard about the struggle that Tony Bloom put up, maybe he broke the guy's leg in the fight. Or maybe the other one actually killed Tony Bloom.
The other one was a girl. Or didn't the lieutenant tell you that either?
Was it a girl? That's incredible. Well, some of those girls these days, I guess you just can't tell the difference anymore, can you? But tell me, Jones, how does Lieutenant Keogh like a man on his staff to go against his own murder theory?
Me? That makes you think I'm on Lieutenant Keogh's staff.
You told me you were a detective. What's this all about? Aren't you a detective?
Private detective. I wanted to talk to you because I was told you gave the party that night.
That's right. And Mrs. Bloom was here. I mean, that's all a matter of record. Tony Bloom was late coming home, and he was going to come along later. So...
You had valet parking?
I certainly did, yes.
Well, I wanted to find out what outfit you used and get the names of the car jockeys that were here.
Why?
The two suspects, the young hippies, said that they talked to the parking attendant and asked to use the phone. Well, if they did that, before they passed the Bloom house. It kind of rules out the possibility that they beat up on Mr. Bloom and murdered him, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now, what if he actually broke the guy's leg in the fight?
Doesn't seem logical that they would limp back up here and talk to people, be seen, make their identification that much easier, does it?
No, it doesn't. You're right. So what you want from me is the valet parking service?
That's all. Be a very great help, Mr. Kingston.
I'm glad to help. Chuck has his own service. I've used him for years. Now, I got his number right here, so I can give it to you.
You know the biggest problem parking cars in Southern California? Making sure your legs don't give out on you. Tower Road, Summit Drive, the old calf muscles and tendons, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I have the same hazards in my profession. Now, about those two, they were coming west on Mulholland?
Right, the 8900 block. And we were swamped. Party just starting to swing. So I had to say no.
Wasn't one of them hurt?
Yeah, his leg. The guy was really in pain. The girl practically had to hold him up. I hated to have to say no dice, but I work for Mr. Kingston a lot, and I know he's got a short fuse.
Then they went on by down the hill to the 8700 block.
Yeah, they mumbled something hostile and kept on going.
Would you be able to identify them?
Tell you the truth, Mr. Jones, I never pay much attention to faces. Radiator grills, yes. People, no.
Lieutenant, I guess that cleans it up for me.
Okay, Ames, I'll see you downtown.
You talked to Barnaby Jones yet? Got here just a few minutes ago with that open-faced, friendly smile of his, you know.
Where is he?
Right here. Will, I'd like to talk to you. Have you got a minute?
Just.
Well, Lieutenant, I think I'll take this stuff down to the lab.
So long, Ames. Will, one of the kids you're questioning is a client of mine.
Tough. Which one?
The girl.
Well, she needs a lawyer, too. More than she needs you right now.
Will, a 90-pound teenager beats a 6-foot man to death.
It's a cinch. The boyfriend's holding him.
Not such a cinch if the boyfriend's got a broken leg.
Listen, I know they said it happened earlier. Falling down a hill or something.
Do you know I can deliver a witness who will confirm it?
Who?
The valet parking attendant at the Kingston party.
You got to him first? How come we missed him? Ames? Ames! Somebody's gonna get chopped off at the pockets. How reliable is the statement? Time checkout?
Seems to. But what I really want is permission from you to talk to the Sanders girl.
Sure. Listen, as long as you're laying your cards on the table, what does Eric Garvin and the Sanders girl have to say about how he got to the emergency hospital to get his leg set?
Hitch. Car picked him up near Lookout Mountain.
That's a lie. They stole the car, Barnaby. We found it in the hospital parking lot, covered with their prints.
Thanks for telling me. Whose car?
The victims. Tony Bloom.
You're both in a mess of trouble, young lady. You need all the help you can get. And whether or not you get it from me depends on when you start telling the truth. Now, one more lie, and I drop it. You understand?
Okay. Yes, sir. Look, the only reason that we went to the Bloom house was to try to call Artie so he would come and get us. We rang and nobody came to the door. So we ripped off the car. But we never went inside, and we sure never killed anybody.
You were more or less identified by 4 people. 2 guests who arrived about the time you did. The parking attendant and a woman walking her poodle. Did you happen to see anybody outside who may have committed the murder?
Wow. There was a valet. We talked to him. And there was a car that drove up just then. We asked them. Oh, and there was this guy that looked like he was leaving the house, and then he went back into the house around to the side like.
Could you identify him?
Heck no. I probably wouldn't have remembered him except that he was wearing very fancy threads. Dressed all in white.
White suit.
Yeah, very Marcello Mastroianni. Very cornball, Mr. Jones. Is that all you want?
If that's all you can tell me.
Will my mother be coming down?
I imagine she can get permission.
Well, I guess we'll both survive. She always comes loaded with handkerchiefs. Thank you very much, Mr. Jones.
I'll be talking to you the day after tomorrow, Christy. They may have moved you by then. Hybrid talisman?
Reporter or policeman?
I'm Barnaby Jones, ma'am, a private investigator.
Well, first time in my life I ever have detectives asking me questions, and not one of them's younger than me. Well, I always knew I missed my chance with Bogey.
Actually, I want to talk to Mrs. Bloom. I understand she's staying with you.
Oh, no, she went back to her own house. I guess everyone knows which one it is now. She's probably there.
I want to ask you a question about the party. Who was wearing the white suit?
White suit? Nobody was wearing a white suit. Well, maybe the bartender. No, he was wearing a red mess jacket. Nobody was wearing a white suit, Mr. Jones. Why did you think that?
Must have been mistaken. Thank you very much, Mrs. Harbeck.
Oh, just a minute, Mr. Jones. You are a good detective. It is a hybrid talisman.
Hello.
Steve?
Did you find the file, darling?
No, I'm still looking. I think you ought to know that detective who talked to you, the gray-haired one.
Yes, what about him?
He was here. He just left. He wanted to know what suit you wore at the party.
So he asked you too, huh? Winnie just told me that he had been to her house.
What's it all about?
Oh, it's nothing important, really. Listen, maybe it's best if you don't call me, unless, well, you know what I mean.
Oh, yes, I understand. And I'm still looking.
Okay. All right, keep at it. Bye. Well, you back again, Joan?
I'm afraid so for a minute.
Come on in. You got a hold of Chuck all right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get what you needed?
Yes, fine. Thank you very much.
Well, I hope you don't mind if I do my 30 laps.
No, not at all.
I hate to miss a day, you know.
I feel the same way Mark Twain did about physical exercise. When I get the urge, I lie down immediately till it goes away.
That's a good one. So what did Chuck have to say?
He confirmed that he had seen Garvin and Sanders, Garvin with the bad leg, just about the time that they said he had. He also said they asked you to use a telephone, but he told them that you wouldn't like it.
That's right. So now you came to straighten out the business about the white suit and the blue sweater, huh?
I see that both of the ladies have already called.
Well, I am Mrs. Bloom's attorney, you know, Jones. She very correctly told me that you had been by, without, by the way, telling her that you are not on the force. As for Winnie Harbeck, she'd call a man on any excuse.
Well, you got your story down pat.
The beginning of the party was wearing a white suit. I spilled a Bloody Mary on it, on the jacket.
So I had to change. That's as simple as that. Okay?
If you were wearing a white suit, then you were the man that Garvin and Sanders saw when they were outside with Chuck.
I went outside to the car because I left a case of booze in the trunk.
If they saw you, Mr. Kingston, there's an even better chance that you saw them.
Come to think of it, I remember Chuck talking to somebody. I just thought they were some of the guests, you know? You look kind of skeptical about me changing clothes, Jones.
I don't mean to. It makes good sense. But it would be a lot easier to accept if you hadn't already sent the suit out to the cleaners.
Cleaners pick up us tomorrow, Jones. And the suit, Jones, is right in there.
Yeah. Let's see now. Take a look.
Looks like a couple of things, including blood.
You want to take a bet, Jones?
No, I don't want to bet. I got too many things on my mind.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Like, let's assume that those kids did not murder Mr. Bloom.
Well, as a lawyer, I'd have to say that no proper foundation was laid for that.
All right, try a little foundation. The desk sergeant who took the call from the Bloom house logged a message like this. 2 guys broke into my house. They beat me. Now, wouldn't you think that Mr. Bloom would have noticed if one of them was a girl?
Yeah, you think so.
I think the murderer made that call. He remembered seeing those kids in this area somewhere, not too clearly, and he's trying to lay it off on them.
Aha, Dr. Watson, you already tricked me into admitting I did see them.
Look, I'm just noodling around with all this. I'm trying to make some sense out of it.
Do me a favor, Jones. Start noodling around with something called motive for me to have killed my good friend Tony Bloom, all right?
I saw the glimmer of a motive out by the pool.
My, what big eyes you have, Grandpa. Gail and I embrace each other. We kiss. People do that, you know, for more than one reason. Especially if there was a death in the family.
It didn't quite seem like a kiss of condolence, or a kiss a lawyer might give his client.
You are serious, aren't you? A crime of passion. How romantic. And how ridiculous. Lovers don't kill spouses today, Jones. They just move in together. Besides, I got a girl. You know what she is? She's a biology major at UCLA. Now, why don't you go down to Lieutenant Keogh and tell him all about your theory? Because I'm quite sure he'll get a good laugh out of it.
I might just do that. They could use a good laugh down at headquarters.
To be here.
Maybe Tony had a messenger pick it up before.
Look, darling, I don't know what Tony might have put into that file, but I don't want Spencer to get hold of it. What about the bedroom?
Barnaby, you told me you would stop at 7.
I'm almost finished.
What'd you find out?
The stain on top may have been a Bloody Mary, but something tells me that underneath is blood that he tried to wipe off.
Did you check out?
Nope. Tomato juice with just a trace of Worcestershire. A Bloody Mary without a drop of blood.
Barnaby, do you have to be told that some people in this building would call this withholding evidence?
Well, how can you say I'm withholding evidence when I'm laying it right in your lap?
How did you get it? Marilyn, you there? I'll have to send this to the lab and get these stains analyzed.
Now, hold it, Lieutenant. I've already analyzed it, and it's nothing but citric acid, ascorbic acid, sodium chloride, and pulp tomato juice.
Yes, Lieutenant. Morning, Mr. Jones.
Morning.
Tell Dr. Tamaka that the good fairy left this in a basket on my doorstep, and I'd like him to take
Hold
it.
it.
What now?
You know, I struck out on the stain, but isn't this a kind of a funny thing to have up your sleeve if you've been wearing the jacket? Price tag still sewed in? He didn't wear this. Brand new, right off the rack. He set me up.
You're saying he got rid of the jacket with the blood on it?
The real blood.
Maybe. Or maybe he wore it with the price tag in it. I've done it.
How long ago? Last time I wore anything with a price tag in it was a pair of knickers that my mother gave me for Easter because she wanted to prove she could afford to give everybody a new outfit.
Well, I'm sorry to say it still doesn't make things look better for those kids.
About those kids. If they were dumb enough to leave prints all over the Bloom car, how come they were smart enough not to leave any prints inside the Bloom house when they were supposed to be struggling with them?
Barnaby, you've got too many friends in this department. Who let you in on that?
You did, Wilbur, just now. I was only guessing. Anything else I ought to know? I think I'm still one up on you.
Well, I have here a transcript from Charles Vlahos, the parking attendant, only you already know all about his testimony. And then there's a one-pager here from Jonathan Hughes Spencer, head of the law firm that Bloom was with, and Kingston was with also, saying that Tony Bloom had called Spencer minutes before he was killed. He had something of vital importance to discuss with him, about which Spencer knows nothing more, and I doubt if any of us ever will.
Thanks. Guess that makes us even. I'm sorry if I've frightened you, Mrs. Bloom.
Mr. Jones, I'm sorry. I don't have time to talk to you.
You know what's in that?
Personal papers that don't concern you. Mr. Jones, I'm sorry. I have nothing to discuss with you.
I don't know exactly what's in there, but Mr. Kingston does, doesn't he?
He's not here.
But he knows. And I know that whatever is in there is the reason your husband was murdered.
No, he was murdered by those hippie kids who broke in to rob the house. These are private papers.
Mrs. Bloom, it figures that those papers are the reason your husband wanted to talk to Mr. Spencer that night.
Will you please leave me alone and get out of this house?
All right, if you want to shield the man who killed your husband, that's one thing. But I don't believe you do. No man goes through a rigmarole with jackets like that unless there's something pretty feathery. And he saw two men in the darkness, just as the murderer did when he called the police.
Jones, put up your hands.
Steve.
Then move to the fireplace.
What are you doing?
Put your hands above it. And spread your legs apart.
Steve, what did he mean when he said...
Shut up.
I won't shut up. I want to know.
Laying a foundation for you, Kingston. You wanted a foundation. It's a motive, Mrs. Bloom.
Steve, you swore to me you didn't.
Now be quiet. And open the door, Gail.
Open it.
Now, Gail, you and I weren't here, but inquisitive Mr. Jones was here, as he was here before when he stole my jacket. Now, unfortunately, he went outside, he slipped on the wet deck, he cracked his skull, he fell into the pool, and he drowned. Now, you got that?
Steve, why?
Because I say so, Gail.
Mr. Kingston, you mind if I suggest a bargain?
You haven't got much to trade, Jones.
Except that if you kill me, Mrs. Bloom will probably decide that you actually did kill her husband, and right now she's not quite sure. And if you stage an accident, that brings on more questions, lots of questions, because believe it or not, I've got some friends in homicide and some more scattered through the department. And they will hang on like bulldogs until they are absolutely certain there was no foul play. Mr. Kingston, you've got me covered. You mind if I turn around and look you in the eye?
You just talked, Jones.
No. You're a very smart lawyer. All you need is a little time. A little time in the office to straighten things out, to sort of get things in shape, in condition. Why don't we burn that report and all of Tony's notes? Then nobody will know. And I'll walk out of here with a healthy skull, and you two will be home free.
Yes. Please, no killing. I wish I could burn everything. I'm glad I don't know what's in here. Steve, please do it. Do as he says.
Open it. Take out the file and bring it to me. Now light it.
Stand right where you are.
And she testified against Kingston? Mrs. Bloom did.
Yes, Christy. Even true love doesn't run smooth. And theirs was kind of rough all the way.
Well, ours is going to be different from now on. I hope.
So do I. Won't be easy.
Nothing's easy today. But every once in a while, some of you old establishment guys surprise me. Anyhow, you did, Mr. Jones.
Thanks, Eric. You know, one of these days, maybe your parents and Christy's parents might surprise you, too. It's amazing how much we grown-ups can learn in a couple of years. Dig?
Oh, I dig.
a Quinn Martin production, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, Mark Shera, with guest stars Edward Winter, Lou Frizzell, David Gruner, Buck Taylor, Chip Lucia. Tonight's episode, Shadow of Fear.
Who is it? Come on, who's there? Hi. My name's Betty Jones. You looking for somebody? I guess you're surprised to see somebody here. I know the cottage has been locked up for a long time. I inherited it from my aunt. Louise. Louise Norton? Did you know her? Hey, if you're interested, I'd be more than happy to pay you if you'd help me, you know. Well, listen, I gotta get inside. Got a lot of things to take care of.
Will? Don't sneak up on me like that. What? Woman? Hurt? Where? With the old Norton place? Give me a hand with it.
No.
Easy. Nobody's gonna hurt you. You cut your arm. Just lie still and you'll be all right.
Where's the...
You're right, she got hit pretty hard. Could have a concussion. Well, I'm gonna need some things. Now pick him up at Clooney's. My place is too far. And, take my rig, huh?
You don't get many bikers through here. Where you headed?
Nowhere. Just seeing the country. Is this stuff any good?
Well, it depends on how bad your indigestion is. Some swear by it, some don't.
Got anything better?
Nope.
Maybe I better see the doc.
Where's he hang out?
Culverton, about 50 miles south of here.
You gotta be kidding.
Well, we used to have a doctor, but he passed away a few years back. We haven't had anybody since. I guess there's not enough money in these small towns for these modern fellows.
What do you do if someone gets hurt real bad?
The best we can. Have a good trip.
Yeah.
Hi, you will. What do you need now? Some fish hooks or shells? Oh, something for Doc. Who's hurt? Well, don't forget about old man Jameson. Tell Doc the headaches are bad again.
So how long's that gonna take?
Maybe 20 minutes, as soon as I get it back together.
I'll get it. Ace Machine Shop.
Foster, it's Stan. He's here at Circle Bluffs, just like I told you it would be.
Are you sure this time? We can't afford to miss another couple days' work from nothing.
You want me to handle it alone?
No. No way. We'll be there.
Stan's lead pay off?
Yeah. That's what he says. Come on, let's go.
I hope he's right this time. I'm tired of chasing all over the country.
You and me both. Mike, we're splitting for a couple of days. You're in charge, okay?
I gotta talk to Betty about her handwriting.
She seems to have finished the Wilson report. Over the cost sheet. We'll have to do that.
Cost sheet? Oh, Barnaby, do you know how hard it is to type a column of figures and keep it straight?
And Jedediah, I think if you set your mind to it, you can rise to the challenge.
Thanks. You know, they can put a man on the moon, but we still have to type with our fingers. Pagion. Pagion. What's a pagion?
A what?
Pagion. P-A-G-E-O-N-E.
It's page 1.
Ah, why did Betty have to pick now to fix up that cottage?
Seemed to me you're the one who told her now's the time to sell.
Yeah, I got a big mouth, I admit it.
Long drive up there. The mountain air will do her good. I hope she got there all right.
Well, if you're worried about her, why don't you give her a call?
Because there's no phone in the cabin.
Well, she's a big girl. She can take care of herself. Which reminds me, I got a date tonight. Better get this cryptogram done.
Lie down. Lie down. You're in no shape to go dancing yet.
Ooh. What happened to me?
Lacerated arm, skull contusion, maybe a concussion. Your rain gutter fell on you.
Oh. Are you a doctor?
Just a neighbor who knows a little first aid.
Thank you. All I can remember is that, strange, silent boy.
That's Will. The way you conked yourself sure put a scare into it.
Him? He never answered me. I talked to him and he just stared.
He can't talk. He's mute.
Oh.
And he stared because you're so pretty.
You haven't told me your name.
It's Paul Tierney.
I'm Betty Jones.
Hi.
That smells good.
Smells good. It is good. It's all the way you open the can. Lie down.
I think I can feed myself.
Just complete rest for a bit, okay?
All right. Oh, that is good. I haven't been fed like this since I was a little girl.
Come on, swallow.
Oh, golly, I have got to go into town and make a call.
You're not going anywhere. Neither am I. I'm staying the night.
Oh, I don't think so.
Look, you may have a concussion and somebody has to wake you every 2 hours. Swallow.
I heard the south end of the lake has the best fishing.
No more. It was fished out a long time ago. Only tourists go there now.
Where the regulars go?
The North Shore. Jameson's Cove, that's the best place. Are you planning on doing some fishing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any tackle on that motorcycle of yours.
I'm gonna borrow it from an old buddy of mine. He lives around here, but I can't seem to locate him.
What's his name? Maybe I know him.
Well, his real name's Dwayne Nichols, but I think he's going by something else. See, he's got alimony trouble.
Dwayne Nichols. No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Well, he's about 35, 6 feet tall, light brown hair. He's good looking. Great fisherman.
A lot of great fishermen around here. Evening, Harv.
You shouldn't be drinking that.
What?
Nobody ever cured their indigestion with beer.
Oh, yeah. That medicine you sold me is great stuff. Fixed me right up.
The last call. Order up if you want another round.
That's enough for me. I'm gonna hit the sack. See you later.
What was he talking about?
Fishing. Why?
He didn't ask you about Doc.
No, he was talking about some guy named Dwayne Nichols. Thought he lived here.
What did he say this Nichols looked like?
Tall, about 35, light brown hair. Hey, come to think of it, that could be Doc. You think it is?
I don't know. He was questioning Haskins about a fella like that, and he asked me about Doc. Harry, I got a feeling he means trouble. Maybe big trouble.
Oh, good morning. It's Will, isn't it? Where's Paul? Oh, I was afraid he might have left. I'd like to thank you for yesterday. It was very kind of you to run and get Paul. Thank you. How soon, you gonna be ready? Breakfast, I'm starved. 5 minutes? Oh, great. He hasn't eaten yet, has he? Okay, well, I'll go get washed up.
And he's not the type to like scenery. I can't figure why he's sticking around.
What's he look like?
Husky fella, tough looking. Walks with a little limp.
His right leg?
You know him?
I might.
I knew it. Trouble, right?
Could be. Thanks for warning me, Harv.
We'll keep an eye on him for you.
Thanks again, Harv.
No thanks needed. That's the least we can do, Doc.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
Oh, much better, thanks to you.
No headache, dizziness?
Just a touch of the hungries. Come on in and eat. Will has breakfast ready.
No, I can't. There's somebody I have to see. You stay with her, Will. If she gets drowsy, find me. You eat a good breakfast. Take it easy the rest of the day. There could still be complications.
Paul, you haven't given me a chance to thank you for last night.
Everybody up here helps each other.
There's something wrong, isn't there? Is it because you've given up something you had to do to help me?
No, of course not.
When will you be back?
I don't know.
Well, how's about you and me driving into town after breakfast for some groceries, huh? I think I'm gonna stay here for a couple of days.
You made good time.
Better believe it. We've been rolling most of the night.
What's happening? The kid. He's our ticket to dock. Tell Reed he's finished eating.
Will, did you use all the eggs this morning? Well, I'd like to fix Paul something special. I mean, if he does come back for dinner. What's his favorite dish? Excuse me, I'm sorry, but I know you're a friend of Paul's, and, well, I wanted to fix him something special for dinner tonight, and I just wonder if he ever mentioned anything that he really liked.
Lady, I'm afraid I don't know anybody named Paul. You, George?
Sure don't.
Paul Tierney? I could have sworn I saw you talking with him at my cottage this morning.
You must be thinking of somebody else. I haven't been out of the store all day.
Will, find Doc. Tell him there's 3 of those bikers in town looking for him now. No time to explain. Just do it. And make sure nobody follows you.
Look, I know it was you.
Are you sure you're not just imagining it, lady?
All right, fellas. I am perfectly willing to go along with the joke just like anybody else. But you are never going to be able to convince me that you don't know Paul. I mean, he's got to do his shopping here.
All these little towns look alike. You're probably thinking of someplace else.
Come on. Will lives with him. Will?
He left a couple of minutes ago.
Will? Where'd he go? Look, I know something's going on. What is it?
Nothing, lady, nothing.
You just lost yourself a customer.
Maybe we should have just warned her to keep quiet.
How do we know we can trust her?
I'm sorry I haven't called you sooner, Barnaby. I really just haven't had time. How's everything going there?
Well, that's all right. We're getting along fine. You would be surprised at the kind of work JR is turning out. All the reports are finished, and he's finishing up with a cost sheet now.
Oh, that's great. I was afraid that maybe you two fellows would have a little trouble there. Listen, Barnaby, if you could do me a favor, I'd really appreciate it. It shouldn't take more than a couple of phone calls.
Sure, what is it?
I'd like you to check out a name for me. Paul Tierney.
Paul Tierney. There might be a lot of Paul Tierneys. You got a middle initial?
I don't know. I just met him last night. He's about 6'1", light brown hair, around 35. He may be a doctor. You can check him out that way.
Sounds like you got a live one. What does he look like, Redford or Newman?
A little of both.
Ah, now I know what you want Barnaby to do. You want us to find out if he's married.
No, JR, that's not what I want to know. No, it's just that, I don't know, there's some sort of mystery about him.
Betty, is there something funny going on?
Oh, no, Barnaby. I'm sorry if I gave you that impression. No, it's just, no, I'm just curious, that's all.
All right, what's your number up there?
555-2368.
I'll call you at 12:30.
All righty, that'll be swell. Thanks.
Where'd he go? Only a jackrabbit could make it up that way.
Doesn't make any difference. He's not the only one in town that can peg Doc. There's a woman knows him.
There better be. I'm getting sick of this whole thing.
It's been hanging over us too long. Don't worry. It's his turn to die. And I'll make sure he doesn't miss it.
Need an operation, Tom.
Operation? Too many people die in hospitals, Doc. Had a cousin once, young fella. Just had a sore arm.
What's the real reason that you don't want to go? Money?
Well, yeah. Business ain't been too good lately. Matter of fact, I don't know how I'm gonna pay you for this.
Oh, come on, you don't have to. Well, something happened to Betty? Motorcycle. There are 3 bikes now. Yeah, they're looking for me. Where's Betty? Did they see you with Betty? No, well, never mind about me. You get back to Betty and stay with her. Tom, I have to run. Yeah. I don't want you to worry about this. You know, we'll get you taken care of, huh?
Okay, thanks, Doc.
Hi there. Beautiful day.
Usually is this time of year. What do you have?
Well, I don't know, something tall and cool.
Name it.
Oh, I know.
That's her.
I'll have that drink that Doc likes.
Who?
Doc, Paul Tierney.
Sorry, lady. Don't know the fellow. He must do his drinking someplace else.
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but he was very kind to me, and I... Please, I have been up and down this block twice. No one will tell me anything.
You want a drink or not?
No, thank you.
Smart, I got it.
Excuse me, miss? Hey, miss? Miss?
No.
Excuse me. Don't mean to come on strong, but couldn't help but hear the runaround they're giving you back in there. They've been giving me the same thing. I'm looking for Doc, too.
Oh, well, thank heavens. I'm glad there's at least one other person who will even admit that he exists. Do you know what's going on? Why are they all lying?
You got me. He must be in some kind of trouble. I'd sure like to help him. He's an old school buddy.
School? Was it medical school? He is a doctor, isn't he?
Yeah? I guess you could call him that. I'd like to surprise him. Would you take me over to his place?
Sorry, I don't know where he lives. I only met him last night. I injured my arm, and he came to my cottage and helped me.
I guess he'll be coming back to change the bandage. Maybe I could meet him then.
I don't know when that'll be. Tell me your name, and then when I see him, I'll tell him you're in town.
That would spoil the surprise. I drove all this way just to see the expression on his face.
Excuse me, I think that's for me. Barnaby, would you please run that by me just one more time?
There was a Dr. Paul Tierney in Circle Bluff. He died 5 years ago.
That's impossible. I saw him this morning.
Betty, didn't you tell me the man that you met was about 35?
Yes?
Well, the Dr. Tierney who died was 81.
81?
So obviously, we're talking about two different people.
Of course. Barnaby, the man I met was his son.
According to the record, Dr. Tierney had no family.
Well, there's got to be some mistake. And I just talked to a school friend of Paul's, but he didn't look any older than 30.
Well, maybe the school friend is a phony, too. There's no mistake about this, Betty. We double-checked.
Well, if there's no Paul Tierney, then who bandaged my arm last night?
Your arm? What's the matter with your arm?
Betty's hurt?
It's just a small cut, nothing serious.
Betty, I get the feeling that there is something funny going on up there. Why don't you come home?
I can't. Not until I find out what this is all about.
Then I'm coming up. Give me all the details you can. I'll have Jedediah do some more checking.
I have told you all I know about Paul.
What about that school friend? Did you get his name?
No, I didn't. He's with two other fellas. They're all on motorcycles. I can give you their license numbers. Maybe you can, check them out that way. California license 545169 and 9Z9951.
Now, you go back to the cabin. Sit tight till I get there.
What took you so long to get here?
Well, I was followed by a man on a motorcycle.
All right, you're getting out of here right now.
Oh, Paul, please. Please tell me what this is all about.
It doesn't concern you.
You helped me. Please, let me help you.
You can't. Nobody can.
Please tell me what kind of trouble you're in. Listen, if you're into some bookies for heavy bread, I'll break open my piggy bank.
You'd empty your bank, huh?
Yeah.
You'd do that for me?
Yes.
If I had a glass slipper, I bet your foot would fit into it.
Please tell me.
But if I had a glass slipper, with my luck, it'd break. Keep an eye on the princess, will you?
What are you going to do?
This thing's gone too far. I'm going to put an end to it.
Well, then take me with you. Please.
You are, you know. A real princess. Now pack your bags and get out of here.
men wheeling all over the mountains looking for you.
What happened? Looks like you wiped out. I did. I was chasing Doc. I would have had him if I hadn't wiped out in his gravel.
You know where he went?
No. I spotted him coming out the side road down here. Help me haul my bike up. Let's see what's down at the end of it.
Will, you have got to tell me what kind of trouble Paul's in. Please, I want to help. At least tell me what those 3 men want. Will, I have a friend coming from Los Angeles, a private detective. But he's not going to be able to help unless we... I can't. Will, please. I'm holding you back. You go on. You've got to. You're all alone. Get help.
Hey, the kid's getting away.
Let him. He'll bring back Doc.
Who are you? What do you want with him?
We want justice.
Yeah. We're gonna blow him away.
I tracked them down from their license plates, Doctor. The guy at the bike shop said that they were just released from here a few months ago.
Sure, I remember Foster and Reed, but there were 3 of them. Stan Evans was part of the group, too. We had to rebuild his knee joint. He took some shrapnel in Nam.
Well, could you give me a rundown on them? It's very important.
Well, from the time they left Nam, they've only had one thing in mind. That's to find Dr. Dwayne Nichols. It's an obsession with him.
Dwayne Nichols, who is that?
They were all 3 wounded in action. Nichols was one of the doctors who took care of them in the field. One of the best young surgeons who ever served under me.
Well, why are they looking for him?
It's not a pretty story. And the tragedy of it is that it could have happened to anybody serving with an advanced medical unit.
What right? What right have you to pass judgment on another human being?
He passed judgment on us.
Yeah. We were flat on our backs, and he left us to die.
When we needed him the most, he ran out on us. We had to lay there and watch the Viet Cong coming over the hill.
Nichols had 3 tours of duty with that advanced field unit. I can't tell you how often they were under fire. But during the last months, it was almost constant. We couldn't get supplies to them, replacements. And during the last barrage, both nurses and the other doctor were killed.
You mean he was left alone with the wounded?
For nearly 2 days. Must have been hell. He was already suffering battle fatigue. Anybody would have cracked.
Even if we knew where the other 2 went, we wouldn't tell you, Doc. You're too important to us. We don't want anything to happen to you.
Go stay at my hunting cabin for a while, Doc. They'll never find you that far up in the hills.
No, I'm through hiding. I've got to face this thing once and for all. They have Betty? Where? At the cottage?
Don't be a fool, Doc. You can't go up there alone.
That's me. It's me they want, not Betty.
That's it, Nichols. It's been a long time, Captain.
Barnaby? Oh, man, I thought you'd never call. Biddy is sitting on a keg of dynamite.
Take it easy, Jedediah. Just tell me about it.
All right. Her doctor's real name is Dwayne Nichols. Now, those three bikers have sworn to kill him. It goes back to Vietnam, something about...
Sounds like I better get right up to that cabin. I'll get the details later.
I figured you were smarter. But you were licked the day you jumped ship in Seattle.
Yeah, we got that information from a pal in Army intelligence.
I figured you were heading here. Remember how you shot your mouth off about this place that day in Nam when you were working on my leg? Told me how great it was. How you used to come here fishing as a kid.
Don't move, Doc.
All right, that's it, folks. Don't come any closer.
Mister, there are 5 of us, and only 3 of you.
Listen, this is none of your business. Just get back in your car and get out of here.
We ain't going no place. You do something to Doc, you gotta go through us.
Barb, stay out of this. It's between them and me.
Shut up!
We're finishing something that started a long time ago.
That's right. Promise we made in Vietnam.
This great doctor of yours ran out on a tent full of wounded men. Left us to be captured.
All right, I left you. I could say it was because I had no plasma left. No water, no morphine. No. No, that's not it. I left. I ran because I was scared. And I couldn't stand watching you suffer anymore without being able to do anything about it.
Yo, what about the 3 men that died in that tent because of you?
This man doesn't desert people who need him. Not even strangers like me. You all know Paul. Tell him.
That's right. Doc came out in a snowstorm to look after my wife. Traveled 5 miles on foot.
He looked after my little girl even when he was sick himself.
Can't tell you how many lives he saved in that brush fire last year. Went right through the worst.
Yo, you're breaking my heart. But that doesn't change what happened to us. Get him into the 4-wheeler. Well, what are you waiting for?
Nothing. Let's go, Captain.
What's it?
He's a mute. Will, don't. You can't help.
He has the right to try. Oh, please listen to him. What is it, Will? Oh, he's talking about the car crash he was in. The crash where you lost your mother and father. He was almost killed. Glass ripped his throat. He almost died. Paul pulled him out of the wreck himself. Worked on him right there in the woods. He saved his life. I think what he's trying to tell you is that Paul took him in after the crash and has been looking after him ever since.
Doc's looked after all of us these past 3 years.
More times than not. Didn't ask for any pay either.
Look, I know all of you have been through a lot, and I really can't blame you for the bitterness you feel. Or for the hatred that you've carried with you all these years. But haven't you ever felt scared? Haven't you felt like running?
My knee was gone. I didn't have the choice of running. He did.
Yes. And he's suffered for it all this time. Does the suffering have to go on? I mean, haven't you all suffered enough? And these people here, what will taking away their only doctor prove? What will it solve? Will killing Paul change the past? Don't you see? The man that you've hated all these years doesn't exist anymore. He died in Vietnam, too.
Oh, what the hell?
It's finished.
Barnaby!
Well, it's a pleasure to see civilized folks solving their problems in a civilized manner. Almost makes it all worthwhile. How do you do, Doctor? My name is Barnaby Jones. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Miss Jones, this is Will Harper. He's a friend.
How do you do?
Well, I've notified the authorities that I'm turning myself in.
Did they say anything about amnesty?
With your record, Doctor, you ought to have a pretty good chance.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. But I'm coming back here, no matter how long it takes.
Well, I don't know about Betty, but I'd been planning to come back up here myself, do a little fishing. Betty, too bad you're selling that cabin. It would have been a nice place for me to stay.
Gee, Barnaby, what gave you that idea?